Hello everyone and welcome to the SC Battlegrounds. My name is Hakaya and we are going to take a look at a 1v1 between none other than our heroes LiquidJinro and LiquidRet. These guys both representing Team Liquid, facing off in a Zerg versus Terran matchup right now on Lost Temple. And of course this 4-player map will induce a little bit earlier scouting in order to see where each other's positions are, because of course if you do not know where your opponent is starting out on a 4-player map like that, that can drastically affect the different types of builds that you may have to defend against or prepare yourself. And of course LiquidJinro spawning at the bottom here, this is going to be the closest possible distances you can be by ground. So that's gonna, for Terran, that's of course gonna make 2 racks openings a lot more powerful. The Zerg player, or Ret rather, is gonna have to be very careful to not let his ramp get walled off with bunkers or anything like that. And just to note too, you may see this nice little SC Battlegrounds overlay on the right there. That is because this was pre the last patch. I can't remember, 1.1.20 or something like that. This is before that patch. Obviously I cannot hide the replay overlay. So also that note, the latest balance changes are not in effect in this game. So we are going to have to see exactly what goes on. These guys both absolutely phenomenal StarCraft 2 players. LiquidJinro currently doing extremely well in the GSL. He just this weekend played in the semifinals match, and I have watched that already, but for those of you who have not, I'm not going to ruin that for you because I don't want to be a spoiler. But anyways, there is a barracks going down already for Jinro. Do not see a second one yet. He is getting a gas, so probably not going to go for that double barracks play, as he has not yet scouted his opponent and what he's doing. And it looks like he is going to go ahead and run by that Xel'Naga watchtower, seeing if he can catch the scout in the middle of the map and see exactly where he is, although he is going to run into Ret straight away here. And Ret, it looks like, is going to go ahead and go for that fast hatchery. But Jinro is just going to go ahead and come in here, do a little scouting, see exactly what's going on. Of course, with that hatchery already being up and running, the spawning pool timing, of course, as he knows, is going to be delayed, but he is not going to throw down a second barracks yet, it looks like. Back in his main base here, we can still see that he just has the 1 barracks, and he is getting his orbital command up and running. Now, this is going to be pretty interesting to see what happens here, because Ret is known a little bit more for his macro style play. He's a beast at spreading creep. He likes to drone up a lot. Very economically minded player, as is Jinro. And with both of these players being in a very, very close spawning position by ground, this could make for a very difficult mid game. Here comes one SCV and a Marine. I'm not sure if he's going to try to get a bunker up here, possibly taking down a drone, though. It looks like no, he is going to get that drone up, and here comes a few more drones going to try to defend against this. And I don't think Jinro is going to be able to continue this pressure. He is going to back the Marine off, and the SCV is going to go back to continue scouting. And it looks like he is going to pick off that one drone that was wounded so much. So very good control by Jinro here, trying to maximize the amount of damage he can do early on, and that SCV is going to walk out of there scot-free. He does only have 5 HP. Oh no, but here comes the Zerglings. It looks like they might try to chase down that SCV. Of course, they are way too late, so not going to be able to get back there and take care of that, but he is going to go ahead and do a little bit of scouting with it. There are 3 Marines on the high ground here, though, so they should have no problem stopping those 2 Zerglings. And as we can see, Jinro moving them into position. The only intel he's going to get, it looks like, is that barracks with the tech lab, and seeing that research. If you pay a little bit close attention to the tech lab reactor there, you can see that there is a slight animation when there's something being researched. So it looks like Ret is going to be aware that Jinro is researching something, and with how early that is, I'm guessing that he can safely assume that that's going to be a stim upgrade, trying to sneak that Zergling around, and Jinro not having any of that, just denying every bit of scouting that he possibly can. Ret also very smartly placing an Overlord here near the high ground so that he can keep an eye on when these units move out for Jinro. And here comes 4 Marines now doing some serious damage to the Queen. The Queen just trying to buy some time so he can get that spine crawler up and defend. It looks like the spine crawler is going to go up. 1 Marine goes down, but is quickly replaced by a reinforcing Marine. And one thing I do want to mention before we get too crazy in this game here is that expanding in this game is going to be a lot more difficult once we get past the second base. Of course, as we can see, the naturals here, pretty easy to take. You've got a small choke to defend from, and you can rally units pretty quickly from your main base, and you're not exactly on your opponent's front doorstep. But expanding further, you've got the gold base here right in between them, and then of course the island base, which can be very difficult to hold as well. But This is a very, very difficult staging area to deal with. If the Terran gets up in here, takes that base, and then gets siege tanks and turrets up along this wall here, the cliff, it can be very, very difficult for the Zerg player to engage properly, especially if it's backed up by some bunkers at the choke possibly, and even a planetary fortress. But it looks like LiquidRet wants to do some pressure with these Zerglings here, possibly try to do some kind of a run by, getting back here behind the mineral line, forcing Jinro to pull the SCVs off, but not really doing any damage, only losing a few seconds of mining time there. And as we can see on the mini-map, LiquidRet already trying to expand his creep all the way to the middle, almost reaching that Xel'Naga watchtower already. So doing a very, very good job of keeping that creep expanding, and it looks like he is going to go ahead and get a Baneling's Nest. And we do have a layer up already, so we may see him go for Baneling's speed shortly after that finishes. But looking on the production menu, we can see that the shields upgrade for the combat shield for the Marines is almost done. Very, very close to finishing up here. And on the units overlay, we can see there are 11 Marines and 2 Marauders versus only 7 Zerglings. But if we look at the economy right now, Rhett has a lot more drones, but we'll see if he's able to hold this push with that stim and combat shields both finishing up already. This is going to be a fearsome Terran push to deal with. He does have one spine crawler up for defense, and it looks like he is starting to morph some Banelings. But no, Jinro is going to go ahead and back off, just showing the pressure and then leaving back to his base. And meanwhile, oh, Rhett, being sneaky, wants to get his third up at the top of the map. And if Rhett can be consistent with expanding this creep down to the front of Jinro's base here, it's going to be very difficult for him to really attack this base, simply because it's so disconnected from everything else that's going on right now. And it looks like there are a bunch of speedlings here moving around, trying to figure out exactly what's going on, seeing if Jinro's got any infantry, stray on the map, trying to do any scouting. Of course, not finding anything. Jinro is just going to be stuck in his base for the time being, trying to get his SCV count up so that he can continue to expand and you know, get those resources in, get that production going. And it looks like he is going to start his medevac production as well. Only got one starport, no tech lab add-on or reactor, so going to be slow getting those medevacs out, but nonetheless getting the medevacs out to support. Siege tanks also coming, siege mode on the way. So Jinro going to show us a very standard mid game here, involving some MM with a little bit of siege tank support here. So we'll see how Rhett can respond to this. This of course is a very common Terran playstyle. Oh, and looks like Jinro even going to pop up on the cliff here, take out that Overlord, which is spotting his expansion. But this is a, oh no, I just noticed that SCV saw all of these drones being transferred. So it looks like, even though I don't believe Jinro has spotted this, I'm take a look at his vision. Yeah, he has. You can see on the mini map he has not spotted the base up at the 12 o'clock position, but he did see all those drones being transferred before that SCV was killed. So he is going to be aware that there is a base at the top of the map. And looks like there's a drop from Jinro here on the cliff, doing some economic harassment. He is going to take out this extractor, it looks like, and the Mutalisks of Rhett are now starting to hatch. We can see that he's already got 4, and on the production menu there's another 4 on the way, and getting that +1 attack already. The extractor now going down. That is definitely going to hamper the amount of Mutalisks that Rhett can get out, although he does have 2 more extractors up at the top here, droning this base up very quickly. So good economic minded play from Rhett right now. And if we look at the unit overlay, I'm sorry, the income overlay, we can see that there are 20 more harvesters for Rhett right now, although that is going to go down slightly with this drop in the back. Oh no, and the Zerglings managing to take out all the Marines that were on the ground, or at least force them to be picked up, and then the medevac getting sniped by the Mutalisks. Great play by Rhett. That's exactly what you need to do. And it looks like Jinro is actually just going to go ahead and load up a medevac of 8 Marines and try to take out this expansion up here, and it is pretty much undefended. He only has 1 queen up here in the drones. There are no Mutalisks or Zerglings up here, and it looks like he is going to bring a bunch of units up and try to defend against this. But there are a lot of harvesters going down right now. The harvester count still showing at 70. That does not update immediately real time, but as we can see, there it is, dropping down to 60. So he did lose 10 harvesters there, and Jinro managing to pick up a couple more on the way. But looking at the minimap, once again, we can see that Rhett is just expanding his creep like a monster all the way to the Terran's front doorstep here, and Jinro is going to have a hard time really pushing out on the map with any kind of a siege tank push without using a whole lot of scans and turrets, because of course he is not going to be able to build on this creep. So he's going to have to take out those creep tumors in some way, shape, or form, which will involve either getting that tech out for the Ravens or getting those scans over there in order to scans or turrets over there in order to take that down. And it looks like here comes some Mutalisk Craftsman, already taking down 2 turrets, getting a medevac, and it looks like he's going to go ahead and back out, only losing 1 Mutalisk there. And the Marine and siege tank combo just continuing to grow here for Jinro. But of course, LiquidRet with the economic advantage right now, managing to get that third base up and hold it well. We can see that he does have more harvesters still, sitting at 57 to 78 now, so 21 harvester advantage right now for LiquidRet, and he is just going to have to hold on to the space and prevent Jinro from expanding, and he is going to be in a very, very good position here. Although not to count Jinro out of this game by any means, he is one of the strongest Terrans, especially foreign Terrans, in the world right now, and proving that with how well he has performed in the GSL in this past season. So very excited to see how this game develops. It looks like Rhett is going to go ahead and get another expansion up at that top base. And the Mutalisks continuing to come in here, do harassment where they can, but there's a lot of Marines and turrets up now. It looks like this harassment is pretty much over unless he can find a spot in the main somewhere, but the main still covered pretty well by turrets, and it looks like he even has a Thor out right now. And Jinro with a fearsome army, looks like he is going to try to push out on the map. There are a bunch of units here, and if we look at the unit overlay, we can see that there is one Thor, a couple Marauders, 6 siege tanks, now 7, and 45 Marines. That is an insanely big army, but it looks like LiquidRet is not without an army of his own. He does have a pretty good amount of Mutalisks, Zerglings, and Banelings, but those Banelings need to be careful of the siege tanks. Oh, the siege tanks taking down almost every one of those Banelings before they could get in range, and it looks like the Marines are going to do some serious work against those Zerglings and Mutalisks, and Rhett is going to have to back off. He is in pretty rough shape right now, going to have to macro out a ton of units in very short order, and even the Banelings getting taken down before he can actually get them hatched. And LiquidRet all at once is going to GG, losing that push, just spiraling out of control, and Jinro taking down one of the top foreign Zerg players in the world. Of course, Hydra is up there as well, but I like LiquidRet an awful lot. I hope that he does well in future GSL seasons, as well as LiquidJinro. Good luck to the foreigners in that Korean scene, because of course representing the foreign community in the GSL is awesome. But I do have one other game I meant to cast this weekend. I didn't have time for it, so hopefully I can get that up here in the next couple days, get you guys some more content to check out, because of course Pro StarCraft 2 is so much fun to watch, and I definitely appreciate all you viewers out there. So thanks for watching. Make sure to click that subscribe, like button, or leave your comments, your feedback in the comment section below there, guys. Thanks for watching. I am out.